Miral is a nurturer, a giver, a perfectionist, and I'd say a builder. As long as you feel like you're in your comfort zone, know for sure that you're not growing.
Being the leader of a team, the most important part is actually managing those people.
For me, personally, I think the people part has been the toughest.
When you lead a team, you'll always find them doing it not the way you want.
My line manager told me कि अगर तुम्हारे बगैर कुछ नहीं हो रहा ना, तो that's your failure.
छोटी technicalities or these little things, ये I think जो experts होते हैं, they're the best to work on it.
I think if you feel like someone's too hard to manage, it's okay to let them go.
You'd be a good boss. You are.
I'd like to believe that. Pakistan is this shining part of the world where people see the population and they see that it's easy growth. Aapka talent is severely undervalued. Just believe in yourself, work on yourself, and the rest will follow.
Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mariam Jamal and welcome to another inspiring episode of Women Leaders Series by Women Entrepreneurs of Asia. Today we're joined by a leader who works at the forefront of building and scaling operations in one of the most dynamic and fast evolving sectors. Please welcome Miral Sharif, the country head of Yango. Assalamu alaikum, Miral.
Alaikum salam.
Kya
How are
haal
you?
hai aapke?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me over.
It's a pleasure to have you, of course.
Likewise.
So, Miral, let's begin. To begin on a personal note, who is Miral Sharif beyond the title of country head at Yango?
I think I would say Miral is a nurturer, a giver, a perfectionist who's never been able to be perfect, and I'd say a builder of teams, relationships, ideas. There's a lot of personal element to everything I do, and I love to build things that outlast me. So yeah, a lot of different things, and a bit of work and personal element in everything I do.
Right. So, take us back to the beginning. What first sparked you to build a career in this space?
I think it was not one moment or one opportunity per se, and I would say it was more a divine intervention than me actually looking out for opportunities in a specific direction per se. But I think I would say that I had always been an extremely hardworking individual, be it a professional life or personal life, and I always wanted to be a part of roles and industries where I could tangibly see an outcome of my contribution. And that sort of kept on defining the kind of roles and companies that I was a part of. I hated monotony. So monotony is something that haunts me. So I've always looked for roles that give me something new to do every a couple of months or whatever. And I think I was never okay being a spare nut in a larger wheel. And whenever I felt like I was closer to that, I would just shake and I would just move. So I think that's the core of what sort of has driven and defined my career trajectory. But I wouldn't say that anything in specific. And interestingly, like all the roles, companies that I landed were not because I was particularly looking for them. They just they fell in my lap. So I am a firm believer that there's a divine hand at the back. So yeah, I would say that's the basic or the major contributor. And then of course एक दफ़ा आपकी वो direction एक जगह पे set कर दी, तो I kept running. तो वो है, but yeah, I'd say it's more of a divine thing than me steering my career in that sense.
That's nice actually. So let's talk about your journey to becoming the country head, right? As you're leading Yango in such a, I'd say, dynamic and competitive market, what were some of those pivotal decisions that you took which shaped Yango's journey in Pakistan?
I think I'm a firm believer that anything that you're building, they should be set in the right foundation. So their foundation needs to be super, super strong. It needs to be super sturdy, because then what you build on top is always going to stand tall.
Right.
But later you cannot go back and fix the foundation. So I think, if I look back, like I've been a part of Yango for the past 3 years, and I think my focus was always to build the right foundations, be it people, be it culture, be it teams, be it business, be it processes, be it any single thing. And I think वो वाली जो effort that you put in very early on, that starts to translate, and वो emanate करती रहती है for the next, for until the, the business or the company or whatever lasts. So I think that's the one thing that I was very particular about. You don't have to go for quick wins. You don't have to just, you don't just have to put the pieces together. Maybe that's the way you do things when you're kicking off. To say you put things just together, like they're just there. But then it's very important to put the right structure in place. So while you can just put the sticks in whatever order you can to just kick off, but then it's very important for you to also, एक वो जो एक domino effect होता है, वो structure की basis पे होता है. तो आप फिर you can understand, you can pinpoint कि अच्छा यहाँ पे मैं करूँगा तो ये चीज़ें हिल जाएंगी. So I think वो एक important bit था, and that's also something that I'm focusing on right now. So everything that we start now, for instance, any new project that we start, so yes, it's important कि यार just let's start it, let's kick it off. But then you have to be very mindful कि वो जो agility को आप structure के साथ compromise नहीं कर सकते हैं. You need agility because you need to keep things shaky in the start, so that you can rework, you can go back if something's not working out. But then soon after, you have to put the structure in place as well, so that it becomes sturdy, and then you can build on it. So I think that was something that I focused on since I've joined Yango, and yeah, that's been my
right. So since you joined, was there ever a moment where you had to choose between growth and comfort?
Every single day.
Which one did you choose, and why?
I think growth, because they are they're in clash with each other. So there's never, I think the one litmus test that I've been able to do is that as long as you feel like you're in your comfort zone, know for sure that you're not growing. So you only grow out of your comfort zone, and you can be in your comfort zone for a week, month, half a year. But then if you're not okay with just staying put where you are, so you have to step out of your comfort zone. So for me, it has always been growth, and that means not being in the comfort zone. So yeah.
That's right. And leading a company like Yango, which is, it's at an intersection of technology, and then there is operations, and then people. So what's the hardest part of balancing all three of them?
I think, as you rightly said, these are very important components of the business, and the tough part is that they're always operating at different wavelengths. Tech is fast-paced, ever-changing. Ops are complex, and as we were speaking, there's a fire every day, somewhere. You're just putting down, you're just firefighting. And then there are people, so there's that soft element of it. You need to, they all come with different capacities, different tendencies, and you have to make sure that they're aligned with, whatever is going on. But I think, for me personally, I think the people part has been the toughest. I think over time, I learned to be in a position where you are endlessly supporting people. Right. You're being, you're just prioritizing them. But at the same time, you're holding them to very high standards. So you're not compromising on delivery or performance. And that I feel कि वो जो एक balance है ना, वो create करना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. For some time, I always felt that people are the weakest part for me as a leader. And I think I'm still working on that. But I think now, if I look back, I've come a long way where I can now manage the people part of things, because I feel so obliged. I feel responsible for people, for their careers, for their growth. and at the same time, you know, I need to make sure that, you know, they feel happy, they feel content, but at the same time, you're also not compromising on, you know, what they're responsible to do. I think that for me has always been the tougher part than tech or ops. I think ops I can manage. People,
It's a
I
little
think now
tricky.
I've learned to manage.
Yeah, but also what I think always that, you know, being a leader of a team, the most important part is actually managing those people, and you know,
For sure.
they should be happy and they
Bilkul.
should be satisfied while they work with you.
Very recently, one of my team members, she got promoted and she came in a role where she was now managing teams. So even before she started to manage people, I told her, okay, you know, the toughest part of your job is now managing people, because and there are different elements to it, right?
Yeah.
There's the people element, the soft element to it. How are they feeling? How are they, you know, dealing with things? Then you're responsible for what they're doing.
Right.
You're responsible to make them grow. You're responsible to make sure that they deliver. And it's लोगों से काम कराना जो है ना बहुत मुश्किल
मुश्किल
काम
काम
है,
है, that's
because
so true.
and that's where I think the micromanagers come in, because they feel like it's just easier to get things done by themselves
yeah.
than to get it done from other people. I think that's a real thing, but that's where the, you know, the learning part or the tough part comes in. कि how do you make sure that, you know, other people that you cannot control, you can never you cannot control people,
Right.
but they sort of, they're super aligned with how things need to be done.
Yeah.
So I think the people part for me has always been the toughest. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you know, there are like two perspectives to this. When you lead a team, you're always like, you'll always find them doing it not the way you want. Okay, and you might be thinking that I think this can be done like this. वो वाला जो element होता है वो हमेशा रहता है कि आपको होता है कि you know, I think I need to do this. वो उस तरह से सब नहीं कर सक रहे. And then the other part, जिसका दूसरा perspective है, it's that you would always want the team to work on it, because you need to work on different other strategies and, you know, different things. तो वो दोनों ही
I
perspectives
think
साथ-साथ हैं.
I have 2 points to add to this. And both of them came from my line managers at some point in time. And my line manager, he told me कि Miral, if you feel like you are, अगर तुम्हारे बगैर कुछ नहीं हो रहा ना, तो that's your failure. Because if you are to grow, then you may need to make sure that your teams and your people can work independently of you.
Yeah.
And for recently, like, I went to him and I said, I'm redundant. Like, you know, there's nothing for me to do. I'm not on the steering wheel. People don't need me. And he was like, that's a good thing. I was like, I did not think of it that way. He said, that's basically an outcome of you putting in so much effort all this time to bring them to a point where they are extremely independent. They don't need you.
That's right.
And you've put the processes in place, you've put the structure in place, and that's what is required of you. We don't need you. And he was very clear. He said, I don't need you in the thick, like in the middle of things. I need you at an executive level where you're just overseeing things, and that's what you're here for. But then you know, there's this other side of things also. I feel that you need to, when I started off in my early years of managing teams, I had come from a point where I was so used to doing everything by myself. And I had come from an organization jahan se, you know, I grew ground up, which means कि मैंने वो सबसे petty काम से लेके, you know, बड़े से बड़े काम करते हुए, you know, तो I knew everything. And then I switched industries, and I was no longer that person who knew the, you know, the nitty-gritties. And that bothered me कि मुझे नहीं पता कि मेरी टीम जो ये काम कर रही है वो मुझे नहीं करना आता. And I think for the first month of my role, I struggled with that. I was like, I don't know how they're doing it, and how can I manage them if I don't know how they do it? And I remember my line manager at that point said कि as you grow, you will never know exactly the task or the job role of your subordinate.
Right.
And you will be hiring experts who know that job better than you,
Of course, right. That's right.
and your role is to just manage them. So you just need to know enough to be able to manage them, and but you don't need to know how to do it. And I think that's I now like soon enough I understood, okay, this is so right.
That's true.
So then what I did was at that particular point, and I think that's my mantra up until now. I need to be I need to know like I need to have a structure in my mind as to how something is done. And it's not necessary for me to be able to know how to do it, you see. So there's a difference being able to do it and just understanding how things are done,
Yeah.
because it is still important for you to understand how things are done. Because अगर आप किसी को manage कर रहे हो and you're basically there because so that you can help them do better, and you cannot help anyone do better if you don't really understand how they do things. So अभी भी मेरा ये होता है कि I sit with people, I sit with teams, I understand कि कहाँ से क्या कर रहे हैं, you know, how things are being done, 2+2 कैसे हो रहा है. बट इट डजंट मीन दैट अगर मुझे 2+2 समझ आ गया तो मुझे 5+7 भी करने की ज़रूरत है. आई डोंट हैव टू डू इट विद माई ओन हैंड्स. बट इट्स सो इम्पॉर्टेंट because that's where you can actually add value. Unless you don't understand how things are being done, you can never add value. So it's a fine balance of being a micromanager and also, you know, sort of stepping back, enabling, empowering people. So how I do it is there's a point when I'm deeply engaged, and I'm asking things, I'm you know, sort of directing things. The moment I feel like things have been put into place, I step back. And then, you know, the people are there, they're leading from the front, and I'm just there at the back, you know, sort of giving them that, you know, that support. So that's how I do it.
Yeah, and I also think that, you know, the team is important because, for example, like if we talk about a very little thing, I cannot be an expert in the things they can do, right? अगर मुझे एक छोटा सोशल मीडिया का कंटेंट पोस्ट बनाना नहीं आता, so that doesn't mean कि वो मुझे ही सीखना है और मुझे ही करना है, because if I'm going to start doing that,
then you
तो
don't
फिर,
need the
how would I do the other things? जो आप जब आप लीड कर रहे होते हो तो फिर वो जो ओवरसीइंग वाला पार्ट है वो मिस हो जाएगा. वो आप हर चीज़ जो है खुद करने बैठ जाओगे and then, you know, you leave it. So of course छोटी टेक्नैलिटीज़ और, you know, these little things, ये I think जो experts होते हैं, they're the best to work on it, and you need to hire them, and then you need to oversee them. It's okay not to know exactly how to do it, but maybe just sharing your vision and making them do what you want is the most important.
But it's also a fine balance, right? You cannot be a noob on top of experts. So आपको वो भी मतलब, as I said, like you need to know enough for you to be able to do justice to your position, and add like tangible value to what they're doing, and that's it. You don't need to know, you don't. And I think अच्छा, और दूसरा ये कि I feel कि now one of the important bits that I've now learned, like in the course of last 2-3 years, I think if you feel like someone's too hard to manage, it's okay to let them go. At first it was very hard for me to let people go because, you know, they just couldn't settle in, and I was trying so hard to make them settle in and, you know, bring the world down to their feet, and I realized that that's overdoing. You don't need to do that. So you, of course, you make sure that, you know, your people are comfortable, they get what they want, you give them, you know, the right opportunities, the right support, the right kind of guidelines, and, you know, supervision and help and everything. But beyond a certain point, you need to draw a line, because then it's a fine balance of overgiving versus actually taking out value from, you know, people. So here I think that's a recent realization that it's okay to let people go if they're too tough to manage. And if they don't settle in, and mostly they're tough to manage because they're not settling in well. So you do everything that you have to make sure that they settle in. You give them the equal opportunity, equal footing that you have given to the other team members. But if it's becoming too difficult, it's okay to let them go. So yeah, that's something that I've recently come to terms with.
But by listening to you right now, I can actually say that you're a good leader. You'd be a good boss. You are.
I'd like to believe that. Yeah.
I
I
think you
wish
are.
I'm that, but I don't know. I think that's a question better answered by my team.
Of course, we need to connect with the
Yeah.
Anglos team now. Okay, Murad. So, Pakistan is a complex market, we know. What is that one misconception that global companies often have when they're entering a market like ours?
I think Pakistan is this shining part of the world uh, where people see the population and they see that it's easy growth, and it's not, because your 240 million population does not guarantee growth. Whatever you're bringing into the market needs to actually deliver value and well adapted to the local nuances for you to actually, sort of derive growth from that huge population. And I think एक इससे एक और linked जो misconception है वो ये है कि people are price sensitive and they're price driven. And my experience has been that people are actually value driven. So even if because हमारा macroeconomics ऐसे हैं,
Yeah.
GDP per capita आप देख लें, लोगों की affordability देख लें, everything that's ongoing these days, like withstanding all of this, I think if you're not delivering value, and value can be different for you, it could be very different, for me it could be very different. For instance, if we talk about ride hailing, your priority could be safety, your priority could not be कि मुझे एक बहुत like spick and span गाड़ी चाहिए, and मेरी priority could be कि मुझे spick and span गाड़ी चाहिए, safety I can manage. So your what you want out of a certain service and what I want are very different things, and for either of us, price is not something that's going to cut it, right? So that's a misconception कि यार आप सिर्फ लो प्राइस करेंगे या प्राइस सेंसिटिविटी को आप टारगेट करेंगे, एंड no matter what your quality of business is or service is, though it will happen. That's not the case. And I think one other thing I realized when I started working with international teams, and when I stepped out of the Pakistani culture or the Pakistani teams, like Pakistani management, is कि आपका talent is severely undervalued. People don't even realize the kind of talent there is in Pakistan.
Really?
Because I figured कि वही जो चंद लोग जिनको मैंने इंटरनेशनल टीम्स के साथ काम करते हुए देखा, I see them benchmarking this talent versus the talent they have across the board, and I can clearly see that there is the balance is swaying, and that made me realize कि हमारा talent, हमारे लोग, you see few people very बहुत outshine कर रहे हैं, but वो बहुत कम लोग हैं. आप जैसे कहते हैं ईंट उठाएंगे और आपके पास talent है पाकिस्तान में. So even the most like the normal person sitting right next to you is also very talented, just that they didn't get that opportunity, or they didn't get that that opening. So I think this is one thing that people think कि पाकिस्तान के लोग मतलब क्या, what they were known for is blue collar jobs या इस तरह की चीज़ें थी. But I think अब मेरी जो realization working with international teams is कि there's so much talent, and it's not that they're overdoing, it's just the basic things that they do, they're delivering so much value compared to the people or teams in other parts of the world, and they clearly sort of outshine them. So it's not just about people coming Forbes 30 under 30 founders, and wo to khair, of course they've made a mark for themselves, and they've gotten to a certain point, but even like the normal people, there's so much to offer, and I think that's severely undervalued.
That's right, and I think that's very unfortunate, in fact, that we don't get those opportunities, especially the youngsters who are coming all the way. वो बेचारे ढूंढते रह जाते हैं. वो अब I don't know whether ये बात कितनी है अभी तक कि you always need a reference to get into somewhere, और मतलब थोड़ा और जाने के लिए ऊपर. But if I look at you, तो you're doing it really well, and I think it's not compulsory that every time you need it.
I think it's a balance, I would say. For instance, I will talk about being on the other side of the table where I've hired people, right? And I would say I've hired people purely on the basis of my interaction with them, interviews, and and they've done beautifully. And I would also say that I've hired people basis references, and I've trusted references more than non-references. और उसका ये रीज़न नहीं कि उन्होंने सिफारिश कराई थी. नो, आई सो फॉर इंस्टेंस आई वुड हायर एवरी टाइम आई हायर पीपल, आई वुड गो फॉर अ रेफरेंस चेक. And I would trust, and then there are people that that you can trust professionally, right? So
Right.
I would go and ask them, do you know this
Yeah.
person, and what has your experience been like with them? But I would also not say कि मेरी टीम में सारे वो लोग हैं जो कि reference,
Yeah.
and इसको मैं reference based नहीं कहूँगी. It's just that कि हाँ, I did check कि what their past experience has
Yeah.
been. But then that's also
So checks are a different part. ना?
हाँ.
Checks तो compulsory वाले part
बट
है.
ये
वो
कभी
तो I
नहीं हुआ
think
कि मुझे
बहुत
किसी ने
ज़्यादा.
कहा कि यार मेरा हाल इसको रख लो,
हाँ,
और मैंने रख लिया.
वो वाली चीज़ I think
हाँ,
वो
नहीं, I
होनी
think
चाहिए, never.
no, that is not possible, because they need to actually be seen, delivering some value. But then also I've hired people jinko I never knew. Like there was no way for me to even get a reference check. And I think they've done beautifully in the team. And I was just talking yesterday with one of my team members, and I was like, I look back now, and there's some decisions that I made, and I'm like, I'm impressed with myself.
Super
how,
proud.
how I made those decisions at
Yeah.
that right time. Hiring some people with the right talent that was needed, then putting them in roles and in opportunities, cross-utilizing people, and it just sort of मतलब वो इतना it just वो टाइमलाइंस के साथ इतना परफेक्ट इट्स बैलेंस हो गया कि मैं अब सोचती हूँ कि लाइक, एंड देयर वाज नो फोरसाइट एट दैट पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट इन टाइम, राइट? सो आई वाज थिंकिंग इन द वेरी मोमेंट, and it just sort of for later it became a really, really good decision. Like now retrospectively, if I look back and I say, I was just joking, I was like, I don't believe I made those right decisions at that point. So I think ये है. But हाँ, I would say generally for everyone I'd say, do not think too much about
I think it's more
references.
of a myth. It's more of a myth here in Pakistan. Like it's
I think-
pretty common to say, for people to say.
देखिए, मैं ये कभी भी नहीं कहूँगी कि यार this is not true, because it might be true in some part of the like world, right?
Yeah.
My experience, however, has been that I have always put my head down and just focused on performing. And of course, उसमें आपके कुछ वो भी आते हैं. There are people who pull you back. There's politics. There's a lot. So आपको वो hurdles भी आते हैं. And I think I always thought कि यार मुझे थोड़ा बहुत ये भी करना आना चाहिए. But like all in all, if I look back at my last 10-12 years, I'd say that I've just put my head down and I've just focused on delivering, performing, and people see that and people vouch for you, and that automatically becomes a reference, right? So it's not like I know Mariam and Mariam will speak highly of me because Mariam has seen me delivering that value, and Mariam becomes that reference for me.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that I would say that does work. But it's not like Mariam is my friend and Mariam would
Hired
हाँ,
her.
Mariam hired me, right? That doesn't, I don't know. I don't know which part of the
yeah,
world
yeah,
that
yeah,
happens, but I wouldn't say to bank on that. But of course, I would say for anyone who's in that period right now, to focus on delivering and performing and creating a value and a name for yourself. And that is what will become your reference in conversations, in meetings, and that's how people know and get to know people, and that's how फिर आप किसी को refer करते हो, and that's how. So that's a very good thing, and that should happen.
Yeah.
So don't bother about the other stuff. मतलब that's like don't bother about that unless like as long as you just believe in yourself, work on yourself, and the rest will follow.
Right. और checks तो important है. Check होना तो बहुत important है.
हाँ,
So
मतलब if
that's
you can, why not?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's something. So Miral, as we were talking about the global companies and entering the markets, how do you localize a global product, while maintaining its core identity?
I think localization is often thought of as translation. It's and that I feel is a myth, because I think localization is basically integrating a global brand into the local ecosystem while maintaining the core experience and weaving in the local culture, context, thought process, priorities into your brand. So for instance, if you look at Yango across the world, आप अफ्रीका में जाके देखेंगे, it's a completely different brand. Yes, it's red and white.
Yeah.
It's a completely जो brand का एक एक वो जो essence होता है ना, वो बड़ा different है.
I see.
The same brand you see in the UAE,
Yeah.
very different, very premium, very you see it in LATAM, completely different vibe. At the same time, when you sort of look back, like you थोड़ा आप उसको zoom out करते हैं and you look at the brand in different countries and different markets, आपको उसकी कुछ core चीज़ें हैं जो कि आपको similar लगेंगी, foundational लगेंगी across the board. But then if you sort of zoom in, you'd see they're very different brands, and I think that is what you call localization, because you're establishing the core essence of the brand while also not imposing it on the local market, and you're sort of picking up from the local context, culture, whatever, to tweak the brand in a way. And it's not just brand, it's your service, usme aap even down to pricing, support, how you present it, marketing, PR, everything. So everything has to be localized and has to be relevant. Matlab, today, if you think of Yango, you need to be able to relate to it, and only then it'll serve the purpose that it's set out to do. But if you can't relate to the brand, and when you say brand relatability, that comes from a lot of things. That's not just the logo or the advertisement. It's everything. It's service. It's how the brand speaks to you. It's what it delivers, and what it brings on the table, and everything. So I think that's what I think we have been doing. We've been trying to do. We try to do it, even still. And I think I would say that we've done a good job at that. I'd say.
Yeah, you guys are doing
Fairly
a
good job. Yeah.
Yeah, no. You are doing a good job. Don't worry about it. Yango's success can be measured by, your dedication to it.
I think I probably at this position I didn't have an option, but I think I would give a lot of credit to the people that are at the back of it. I think people, the teams, they have done an amazing job, and the good thing is that they're on autopilot now. Like, they do it by themselves. Going the extra mile, putting in the extra thought. It just comes very naturally to them, and that I think shows in the brand. So it's more to do with them and the value that they are delivering than me. I'm just at the top, but then there's a whole pyramid underneath that's building that structure and delivering what you see. So I think it's kudos to them.
Do you believe that women leaders are expected to lead differently? Have you ever felt that pressure?
For sure.
You do?
I think women are expected to be assertive and judged negatively when they are. I've seen it a lot of times. So this is one aspect of it. I will give you an example. There was this meeting, we had a meeting with a potential client partnership kind of a meeting. And the client on the other side was someone who knew me when I was in my early 20s, when I had just started working.
Right.
And I don't know, in his head, he didn't see me more than that. Like, unke dimag mein, I was still that, choti si bachchi. All the whole time, he didn't even look at me. He was talking, and he wanted, we were the clients for them.
Right.
They wanted to lock us as a client, but he was not looking at me. So he was looking at the person sitting next to me, who was a guy. So we went as a team, and all this time he was talking to them. And I was like, and this is very recent, by the way. So I think women have that they have a chip on the shoulder that they have to prove themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as in our society that comes very naturally to us. We're always underestimated, and especially in the kind of industries like ride hailing, mobility, which
Yeah.
are like clearly very male dominated.
Yeah, exactly. That's what my next question had to be. That the space that where you are leading right now is a very male dominated space,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So what are those subtle challenges that women still face and people don't openly talk about?
I think the moment you step into the room and people see a woman, walking in,
Yeah, yeah.
they automatically make an assumption that she doesn't know, and isko to hum, pagal bana lenge. She doesn't know enough. She doesn't know it all. And then there is also कि अच्छा यार इसको हम इससे अब हम क्या ही बात करें, like इससे तो हम क्या ही बात करें, तो हम इसके साथ जो भी बंदा है हम उससे बात कर लेते हैं. But I think, again, I would go back to what I was saying earlier. In every step of the way, if you put your head, you put your head down and you deliver, people start to realize your value when you start delivering value and when you start giving, when you start contributing. So I think, of course, that's the reflex action for women, but I think people do realize when you start delivering. And I think you, again, I'm sure for men also, but also more for women, you have to put your foot down. So you also have to tell people that I am the person in charge, and I'm the person, who's the one making this decision. And I think then they comply. तो and then you also have to maintain a balance of कि आपने लोगों से कितना interact करना है, कितना नहीं करना है. To it's a fine line. It's tough for women, I'd say.
Yeah.
So I would say it's been tough navigating through things, but I would say it's not impossible. I would also say that I've been very lucky in my career. I think in every stage of life and career, I've found one person or a pool of people who've been extremely supportive and who I would, I can never be thankful enough to them. And they have been men and they have been women. So I think you will always find people. I think you should have the right intention, and I think the world will, put things in order.
That's
so
right.
Don't think too much about it.
I think that's when you excel.
I would say
when you meet right people and you have those kind of supportive teams and people around you, that's more when you excel.
I wouldn't say that comes when you excel. I think that comes with, I feel कि मतलब मेरा experience ये कहता है कि even when I was the most person in the team, and I was just doing my bit, there were people who saw it, there were people who were trying to jeopardize it. So it was not like I was at the top of the pyramid.
Right.
I was at the very bottom. But
Right.
even then I had, people who were, sort of supporting me and, rooting for me. Maybe I've been just lucky in that aspect, but I think you do find people along the way who support you. So it's okay. I think you should look for those people and you should just cherish them, value them,
Right.
and keep them by your side.
Oh, that's right. Also, as you are leading the team, being a country head, you're constantly making those high stake decisions and all. So how do you approach the decision making in uncertainty? And also tell me that can you just tell us if you ever made a tough decision that didn't go as planned and what it taught you?
I think a very similar conversation. I mean, before we started this formal conversation, we were talking about something.
Yeah.
I think people say that you should rely a lot on data, and data will sort of help you in decision making. I think data alone doesn't help you in making decisions. Because when you would look at the same data set, you would come with a very different context and you would take a very different inference. And I would come and I would look at that data with a very different context and knowledge and things that I know, and I would make a very different decision. I think I would say it's a fine balance, and that's where your contribution comes in, where you have to see KR. Maybe there are times when no decision is a good decision. You've been presented a problem, and you decide not to do anything about it. Turns out to be good in the larger scheme of things. And then there are things and situations where quick decision is the right thing to do because you cannot be too late. And as a leader, as someone who's responsible for business, people, livelihoods, whatever, I think there is never a surety कि जो आप decision ले रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल सही decision है. So I'm not like, I would never say that you will always know that you know what you're, the outcomes of what you're deciding on. And I think you should just be okay with a decision going south or north. Of course, you want it to, work out for the better, but even if it doesn't, that's okay. And I think the other part is to retrospectively evaluate every decision that you take, because what that does is कि आपकी जो एक वो archive है in your mind, उसमें जब आप retrospectively उस चीज़ को evaluate करते हैं तो आपको ये पता चल जाता है कि अच्छा, these were the cards that I had to play with, this is the move that I made, this is how it turned out, and you're probably presented information later that you did not have at the time at which you were making that decision. Right. And retrospectively अब आपके पास वो information है. So the next time you're put in a similar position, situation, or whatever, you would think a bit wider than what you were thinking about in the last decision-making opportunity, and you would make a slightly different decision, or you will make a rather informed decision. So especially in case of uncertainties, for instance, right now, every day, like every other day you wake up, there's a fuel price change. How do I manage that?
One of the biggest issues right for now, and again, helpless in this, I believe.
Helpless. And then I think I would sort of also like formally talk about the other part where as a leader, I think you feel responsible at all times, but we should also be mindful of things that are going around us that we cannot control. And things that you cannot control, you cannot sort of hold yourself accountable to fix them. तो वहाँ पे I would say कि uncertainties होती हैं and बहुत सारी ऐसे factors आते हैं that are beyond your control. And उसमें तो there is absolutely no way for you to know कि आप जो decision ले रहे हैं whether that's going to work out or not. And that's okay. I think people, like, this is also a note to myself. You should not be hard on yourself while you're making decisions, especially in times when things are not super straightforward. So, and I think everyone, we're given cards to play with, right, at every different point. And I think the only thing that you can strive for is to try and make sure that you play your cards well as best as you can. And even if you lose and even if it doesn't work out, that's okay. Because the next time you're presented the same opportunity, you'll probably play better.
Yeah. Right.
So
you will learn with,
of course,
every decision.
Yeah.
You learn every time.
And learning, तो I would say कि आप like बुजुर्ग भी हो जाएं, तो learning curve जो है वो आपका कभी भी रुकना नहीं चाहिए. And you learn from people, left, right, and center, opportunities, experiences, people. So I think वो तो एक है कि you should just grab an opportunity जहाँ पे भी आपको किसी से भी learning मिल जाती है. So you should always have an eye out for that. But yeah.
That's lovely. Also, Miral, leadership often looks quite glamorous from the outside, right? But what does it cost on a personal level? Like, I mean, like, how do you manage this work-life balance thing?
I think I would say as a leader, I keep questioning myself maybe every day. Because as a leader, you are responsible for business. Am I doing enough for the business? Am I doing the right thing? You're responsible for people. जो आपकी team है. Am I doing enough for them? Am I able to give them that the due opportunities, the due exposure, the due mentorship, the due supervision? Am I there for them enough? Am I making sure they're comfortable? Am I sure that they are managing their work-life balance in a good way or not? And I think even personally, of course, with such like real-time operational services or businesses, it's always a challenge to maintain your work-life balance. But I think that work-life balance really depends on person to person. So you would maintain your work-life balance in a very different way from, let's say, how I do it. There are people who just clock out after a certain point, they're just not around. Then there are people who are available round the clock, but they're able to double hat and multitask. So I think it depends person to person. In my case, I think I sort of balance between the two. There are times when I completely clock out, and then there are times when I'm available, but I would just jump in when I'm absolutely needed. And if I'm not, I'm aware of what's going on, but if I'm not needed, I would sort of hold myself back. But I think the one thing that I have been very particular about is very early on, I saw from my managers, I think I learned things that I should do and things that I shouldn't do. So that's what I've always learned from my managers, because no one's perfect, right? And जिस चीज़ पे मैं उनको क्रिटिसाइज़ करती थी, कभी मैंने किया होगा कि यार दे आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर पीपल्स lives, careers, how they turn out. And I think that's the one thing that I learned, as you go up the ladder, you are increasingly responsible for people, their careers, and how they progress in life. And that is a huge responsibility. And I think that is something that for me as a leader is the tough part, because you need to be making sure aapke jitni team hai, you need to be giving them a level playing field. You need to be making sure you're creating or generating opportunities for each one of them. They are rightly valued and acknowledged and compensated for the value that they're creating. You will not always be able to do it. So they will be trade-offs,
right?
Because that's just how things are. You don't get everything in the plate,
right? Of course.
But you feel so responsible कि यार आप उन सब के लिए you're doing something. So for instance, one of my team members very recently said, Miral, I just want to tell you that I trust you with my career. तो मैंने सब आपके ऊपर छोड़ दिया. And I was like, this is a huge responsibility. Please do not do that. You're putting me under a lot of pressure. So, and that's just how it is. There are people who are just in the driving seat and, they come up themselves. And then there are people who just depend on you. Ki yaar, she's there and she's going to look after us. And that I feel is a huge responsibility. How can I be responsible? कि मैं अभी एक इंसान का career कैसे shape करूँगी? Because that will define how the next 5 to 10 years are for them. And in fact, the entire, next, जो उनका career है. So I think that for me is that's it's hard on me. So that's the tough part of being a leader.
I'm sure, but I know you'll do good.
Yeah, I'm trying.
This is why they're expecting,
I keep telling them you shouldn't expect much from me, but I don't know why they expect. So I try to manage expectations.
As I mentioned, you're a good boss. I can see that.
We should check. I wouldn't take that compliment. I think we should check.
Anyway, Miral, where do you see the future of mobility and tech ecosystems in Pakistan heading?
I think in the past we've seen a lot of ride-hailing services coming in standalone, and I think that's not the way forward. That's not just how. That's I just feel that that's just not how the market is now wired. I think it's going to be a lot more value creation in one space. So I'm sort of rooting and banking on a super app ecosystem build up kind of a strategy in play in Pakistan, and I think that's the way forward. You see any of the app aaj dekho, you just check your app, and you're hinged to an app that gives you different services or different values, rather than you would also not like to have like 10 apps for 10 different touch points in a day. So you would like if 2 or 3 of them are sort of getting combined in one, fintech and I don't know, some मेरे bill payments जो हैं वो कहीं पे club हो रही हैं, and you'd love that, and you'd stick to that app. So I think that is the way forward now for the ride hailing services as well, and I think that's what we are working on. To put together a super app, inshallah. So I think soon enough you'd see a lot of different things coming in, and let's see.
Ajay Mrinal, if you weren't in your current role, what would you be doing? Like, would you have considered building something of your own?
That's actually something that I'm actually thinking a lot about.
A very entrepreneurial question.
But I think if I do build something, inshallah, inshallah, I don't think it's going to be something very fancy.
Yeah.
I think it's something going to be very simple, something that's a part of your daily lives, but nothing. I don't think it's going to be tech based. I think I would go for a conventional kind of a thing, maybe a coffee shop or a clothing line or something of that sort. But that's something, nothing, out of this world, like a crazy idea.
Not a big problem to solve, not a very big problem.
It's a good problem to solve. I mean, you tell me, aren't you struggling with your clothes every day? You would love to...
Almost every day.
So you would love for someone to take that, headache off your shoulders. So... I think value creation to हर level पे हो सकती है, but I think it would probably not be very tech based. So it's going to be something that's very basic, something that's very conventional. I think so. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not, but I think कि शायद कुछ ऐसा होगा.
Let me know whenever you open up.
Will do. You'll be my first customer.
Of course, why not? What do you think are the biggest barriers for women entrepreneurs? Like the ones that you feel like they still face today, and how can those be addressed?
I think access to opportunity. I think things are now changing quite a bit, but I still think कि वो जो access to opportunity है ना वो काफ़ी limited है, and I also think कि हमारी society में अभी भी वो जो एक gender bias है ना, it's very much there. So because I personally think that I started to grow the moment I stepped out of Pakistani management, because people stopped seeing you as a woman or as a man, but they started seeing what you were bringing on the table, and it didn't matter if it was coming from an X chromosome or a Y chromosome. So it was standalone, simple, right. Value create हो रही है, delivery आ रही है, is there a genuine value contribution? And yes, if this person is delivering, then yes, let's take them forward, let's promote them. So I think yes, access to opportunity, and then sort of I still remember the first time I took up this role in a mobility company. The person who was hiring me was also a female, but she was judging me to be, this fragile girl who would not be able to handle ops or, the fast-paced business. Yeah. And I still remember the first meeting that I had with her, she kept looking at me like she's trying to see through me. And then she later came to me and she said, you know what, I thought कि तुम 1 महीने में भाग जाओगी और तुम नहीं भागी. So you stuck around, and that I feel कि वो जो एक एक जो preconceived notion है about women not being able to handle the tough bits, crises. I think that's not
We
the
have
case.
many of such myths
Yeah.
around women. everywhere.
And I think in my team I have seen, and I wouldn't say कि बंदे अच्छे काम नहीं करते हैं सिर्फ लड़कियां अच्छी काम करती हैं. No, I feel कि and I try to do that. मतलब again as I said कि वो चीज़ें जिनसे मैंने suffer किया, I try to correct them in my course of leadership and you know.
Right.
तो मैंने I try to make sure कि अगर if a person, whether it's a guy or a girl, whoever, if they're delivering value, they should be pushed on, they should be given due recognition, and I think that's how it should be. And you should, I think, actively hamari society mein we need to take out the gender bias, and the moment we do that, we will see ke, and as decision makers, as managers, the moment we start doing that, we'll realize ke the girls will start to sort of surface better, because there's a lot of talent, as I said. And girls and women in our society, in our country especially, they're born with a chip on their shoulders, because unko apne aap ko prove karna hai. तो आप उनको थोड़ा सा like just give them a level playing field, and you'll see how they outshine. But I would also not be like यार अच्छा बंदे फारे होते हैं या they're ऐसा नहीं है. तो I would just say कि again आप क्रोमोसोम की वो डेफिनेशन को साइड पे रख दें, and then you'll see कि things are working out.
बस वो I think वो वाली बात है that being a woman, you always need to push yourself more to prove, right, more than men every time and everywhere. So again, unfortunate, but that's a fact. Anyway, Miral, what advice would you like to give to the women who aspire to lead at this level, but they still think that they're not ready yet?
I think I would sort of borrow from something that I've already said. I think you will never be ready. You will never be 100% ready. You will never get the promotion when you're ready for it. I think, for instance, the next promotion that you'll get is because you're halfway there, and people believe that the other half you'll cover. So you have to just emanate that belief in you कि यार I have that potential. And I think I would just say that this has been my mantra. I feel that your intention in life should be in the right place. It should be pure. And if you're putting in the value, like if you're putting in the hard work, so I feel that hard work combined with the right intentions is all you need. And the opportunities will start flowing in. Do not think, जो हम पहले बात कर रहे थे, do not think about, do I have the right people on my side? Do I have the right, background? Have I graduated from the top university or not? मेरा GPA 3.6 plus था या नहीं था? Do not think about all of this.
At some level, ये सब चीजें matter नहीं करें.
ये
No one's
matter
gonna
नहीं
ask
करती.
you.
तो what matters is actually कि आप, like, what are you bringing on the table?
Yeah, right.
So I think just focus on that. Just put your head down, work your way through things. You will come through, आपको hardships भी मिलेंगी, hurdles भी मिलेंगे. There will be people who jeopardize and all. But you will get through that if your intentions are pure. I am a firm believer आपकी नीयत साफ है. So you will get through everything. And do not run after money or titles or the fancy stuff. You put in the value. Again, वही दो चीज़ें. You put in the hard work and the right intention, and you will see all of these things following you. So just get your priorities in the right place. And the other thing that I would say is that when you are making decisions, do not just make a decision basis. So your decision should have some foresight. Of course, you're making a decision at a particular time and particular point in time, but you should also see कि अच्छा यार ये decision मैं अभी लूँगी या मैं लूँगा, how is this going to shape the next few opportunities that are going to come in? How am I shaping my profile? And I think that worked out for me, and I think that's the third thing कि थोड़ा सा foresight जो है वो that's good, because when you're presented with 2-3 different opportunities, at least in that case, you should be able to foresee कि ये अगर मैं decision ये मैं step लेता हूँ तो what are the next 2 steps after this, and then see कि this opportunity versus that opportunity, how's it, how do I want to see myself in the next 5 years, And I think the hunger, if you are hungry, if you want to be somewhere, you will be somewhere. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she told me, but then she said something, and she said, Amiral, if you don't do anything or you don't achieve anything for the next 6 years, you're good. Like you've achieved so much, तो अगर अगले 6 साल भी तुम कुछ ना achieve करोगी ना तो कोई बात नहीं. Like you've done enough for the next 6 years even. And then she said this, like she put things in, you know, in such a way that I started thinking about it, and I would like to share it now. And she said कि हम, when we are going up the mountain, we're climbing. And the climb is, the hike is of course very, you know, tough on you,
Right.
Physically, and you know it takes a lot of resilience and a lot of, you know, physical strength and all of that.
A lot of effort.
And all that time, your eyes are on the top of the mountain.
Right.
You never look back at the trail that you've already covered.
Of course.
And this is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is it keeps your ambition high. So you're always aiming for high. But I think you should also look back and like stay, pause, and look back at everything that you've achieved and just absorb it. And that will help you in the climb thereon. Because you will believe in yourself कि मैं यहाँ तक भी आ गई, because वो भी steep ही था ना.
Yeah.
Like that climb was also steep.
Of course.
So when you look back and you see everything that you have achieved, and you let that if you let yourself absorb that, you would be able to go the next 1 kilometer. क्योंकि वो 10 किलोमीटर तो आप already, या जितना भी, I don't know, 11 किलोमीटर की कौन सी मैं mountain बना रही हूँ. But anyway, the point is कि, you know, you've come so far, basis something. You just need to believe in yourself, and you'll also cover the tiny bit that's left. And the other part is that जो mountain top है, that keeps changing. So आपने एक mountain आज climb कर ली है, you're not okay with that. You're now looking at the next top. So the top keeps changing. So yes, you need to keep looking at the top, but you also need to look back and see the distance that you've covered and how you've covered it, and let yourself just sit with that, and it will help you in the journey, you know, forwards as well. So yeah.
That's right. That's nice. Actually, good to hear all this, Miral. A really nice thing that you just shared, and we need to learn from this, of course. All right. So we'll be doing a quick fire round with you. So the answers have to be quick with this. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
Coffee or chai?
Chai.
You like chai more? Okay, nice. Early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
Early bird, great. Biggest strength as a leader?
People. I know I said it's my weakness also, but it's also my strength.
Again, okay. One thing people often misunderstand about you?
I think people get intimidated by me. I think that.
Why?
So you know, you Tom and Jerry देखा है ना? So they
Yeah.
think of me as Spike the bulldog,
Oh my god.
but I'm actually Nibbles. I mean, if you really get to know me, I'm actually Nibbles. So yeah, I think that's what people.
Oh my god. Okay.
People get intimidated by me, and I still don't know. Like that's what I get every.
I would actually like to know like how, why.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
I'm Nibbles. Please come on. I'm Nibbles.
All right. One thing people don't know about you.
I think people close enough do. Maybe people who don't know me don't know, but I'm really hard on myself. Really hard on myself. So yeah, that's maybe not known to a lot of people.
Okay. Success or peace? What matters more right now?
Peace, and you will get the success because you're peaceful.
It's the same thing we just spoke about.
So I would say run for peace, and success will follow. Because when you're in a good position mentally, physically, you're also able to strive for more. But if you're always in the rut and you're trying to, the peace to kabhi bhi nahi aayega. And I think with time I realized that more than things and achievements and tangible things, it's just the inner peace and contentment that's more important. So if you're not getting that, then none of the other things matter.
A podcast you would recommend?
I can't think of any right now. I can't think of any.
Okay. One habit that changed your life?
Consistency. Yeah.
One skill every leader must have today?
Empathy. I was watching this. I think this was maybe a TED talk or something, and they said, "Ke, you know, the future is in empathetic leadership, and that doesn't mean you're a softie. That just means that you understand where people are coming from, and you're able to pull them from their strength. So you cannot pull or bring out people's strengths if you don't understand where they're coming from, and you'll never be able to understand where people are coming from if you're not empathetic towards them. So now if I'm sitting across you, I need to understand where Mariam is coming from, because your reality could be very different from mine, and if I'm not able to understand that, I can never pull you along. So I think, yeah.
Actually, very important point. Your favorite productivity hack?
I think I would say I don't recommend. I actually recommended this to someone yesterday. They said they believe a lot in external validation. So I said there are two ways to do it. One is that you put yourself in a extremely positive spiral. I don't care what the world thinks about me. I am a superstar.
Okay.
That's very hard for people with imposter syndrome to be at. So that's very hard for me. I have imposter syndrome. So I said then there's the opposite side. The opposite side is the negative spiral. And the negative spiral basically says that I am at the bottomest bottom of things, and that's who I am. I don't care what people think about me. I think that works at times because because every time you're thinking, yaar, what is Mariam thinking of me? What is what is he's thinking of me? What are they thinking of me? You sort of put yourself into that external validation check every single time, at every time you meet someone or you're saying something. And if you just accept, यार हाँ मुझे तो I don't add any value, that's okay. तो फिर वो आप external validation है ना उसमें से आप निकल जाते हैं and you just yourself. So it's just to put yourself at ease, and there are two ways. एक तो आप extreme confidence, super confidence, overconfidence पे चले जाएं, which works out for a few people.
Yeah.
And then the other way is कि आप कहते हैं कि यार ठीक है मैं ऐसी हूँ, यही है. And if it's the worst, then that be it. So you just accept, and it's just you telling yourself, because the world doesn't see it that way. So मेरे दो hacks यही हैं. And I think मैं कभी extreme positive spiral में नहीं गई कभी, तो मैं थोड़ा I tend to sway towards the latter option, but I think that works for some people.
Yeah. First thing you do in the morning?
Check my phone.
Instagram or LinkedIn?
Actually, I turn on data because I turn off my data while I'm sleeping, because the phone keeps pinging all night. When you're in operations, that happens. So the first thing that I do, even before I go to Instagram or you're not asking
It's okay,
that.
you can continue.
Oh,
Yeah,
acha.
that's okay.
So yeah, but between the two, I think Instagram.
Instagram, okay.
Yeah.
But did you want to continue the
Yeah,
answer that you were
so I
saying?
was saying-
Yeah, I was saying continue that, and then
Acha,
maybe
so I
we
was
answer
just
this.
saying that
That's
the first thing that I do is to turn on my data.
Yeah.
And we were just talking yesterday. Interestingly, during Ramadan, there's something that happened at work. And one of my peers was like, Miral, you cannot go to sleep now because, and then I conveniently went to sleep, data band karke, and then the next day I woke up and there were like 100 messages. I was like, oops, did I miss the action? So yeah, for me, it's not Instagram or LinkedIn, and the first... the first interaction in the day, it's just my WhatsApp and my work messages.
Probably.
Yeah.
A leadership myth you don't believe in?
I think I don't believe in you imposing your way or your thoughts on people. You can be the leader, you can be at the top of the pyramid, and you can be at the top of the organization, but you can also be wrong. So I think I tend to let people convince me if I'm just too hard set on something. So I would say I don't believe in leading people, you know. So when you're leading, you're at the forefront, believing that you are the one who knows everything.
Yeah.
I believe in enabling people and I let them lead me, because maybe, as I said, you're sitting on at the top of experts
Right.
who are experts in their domain.
Right.
And they could be leading you in a very different direction that is probably the right way to go. While you, who has surface level knowledge of everything, so general management या leadership में क्या होता है, they're different things. मतलब you can be an expert in your domain, and that's also the case. But then you could also be a general manager who's sitting on top of experts, and you want to let them lead you to the right direction.
Right.
So I think वो वाली चीज़ है ना कि if your boss is saying something, he or she is right, and that's the way about it. I think in fact मुझे गुस्सा चढ़ता है कि if people don't they don't argue with me. So there has to be a debate. It has to be a healthy one. But of course, you have to put your foot down if things are going, you know, like बिल्कुल tangent पे जा रही हैं, तो हाँ, तो you need to, you know, keep the sheep together. But I would not lead. I would walk with them. So I would let them sort of steer wherever they want to take me, and in that process, even I learn. So yeah, I think that's a myth.
Yeah. Great. Miral, to end this, please share one book, one habit, and one belief that every entrepreneur should build.
I think बहुत अरसा पहले I read this book by Mitch Albom, and it said it's basically 5 people you meet in heaven, and it was about him meeting the 5 people he met, like he had in his life, and he met them, you know, when he died, and he met them in heaven. And उसमें काफ़ी सारे lessons थे, but like one of the lessons was कि he said, I don't understand. So there was one of his comrades or someone who he found out that he had sacrificed his life to save him. And he said, "Ke, I don't understand, why would he sacrifice for me? And I don't understand, like, why would someone just let go of their life for me?" And the jo lesson uske andar tha, the story, basically, it's how it went, ke sacrifice is not always bad. So he sacrificed and he passed on that sacrifice to someone else. So he sacrificed himself while 5 other people lived. And he passed on that value to those 5 other people, who then sacrificed for, you know, maybe 5 other people. So sacrifice is not always bad, because it creates a certain value. And you are, by sacrificing and you're actually passing on that value, and it's a chain.
Right.
So you should not think कि कैसा है. And then there's a religious element to it. Sacrifice के ऊपर मैं गामिदी साहब की एक talk सुन रही थी, और उन्होंने कहा कि हम as people who are like believers, at least here जो Muslims हैं, they get very they're very like the concept of this dunya is very unsettling for them, because they think कि यार मैंने इतनी दुआ की, मुझे कुछ नहीं मिला. And he said कि ये तो हमारा मेजर ही गलत है, बिकॉज हम इस दुनिया के लिए नहीं बने हैं. हम अपना नफ़ा नुकसान इस दुनिया में देखते हैं, बट इन फैक्ट इट्स दी हियर आफ्टर. सो आपका होराइजन जो है ना, और आपका जो आपकी जो मेंटल वो है, दैट नीड्स टू एक्सटेंड बियॉन्ड दिस वर्ल्ड. तो आई थिंक सैक्रिफाइस के ऊपर ये 2 चीज़ें हैं दैट स्टक विद मी. एंड व्हाट वाज द अदर थिंग? 2 और चीज़ें आपने पूछी.
Habit and belief.
I think belief I have shared कि आप if you put your head down, everything will come to you in its due time.
And a habit.
हाँ, बल्कि belief में मैं एक और चीज़ कहूँगी. I think someone said it maybe 10 years ago, and it stuck with me. He said it in a very funny way, but I think it's super accurate. He said, वक्त से पहले नहीं और किस्मत से ज़्यादा नहीं.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a firm believer in this. You will get the things that are destined for you, but in the right time. So no matter what you do before that time, you will not get it. and what is set out for you, you can never, like, it can never go away from you. So yeah, that's the belief. And I think habit, I would say, I think I've already probably said it. Consistency. I would really push on that. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Miral, for coming over, joining us today, and for sharing your journey with such clarity and openness.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over.
So humble to have you. And I hope that you have also learned these great lessons that Miral shared with us today. And we should always remember that leadership isn't just about the titles, I believe. It's also about the impact and the resilience.
It's never about the titles, I'd say.
Never about the titles, exactly. So thank you for watching us. This is Mariam signing off from Women Entrepreneurs of Asia. Keep shining, keep building, and keep leading with heart. Take care. Allah Hafiz.